You know what? Today we are going to have some fun. Now this is something that I have been planning for quite a while, and I'm not talking about the fun part. I'm talking about something quite hilarious that I had on my mind, but never really, never really made a video about it. And I'm talking about a battle venture. Now I think I made a couple videos just in a theoretical way, but it is time to actually blow some ships up with this thing, and I think it's going to be quite hilarious. Again, my goal, basically my goal is to make something fun and something hilarious to look at. So yeah, let's quickly just take a look at the stats. Now obviously the Venture is a mining ship, has no bonus on any DPS or anything like that. The closest thing that can technically help me in combat is that scan resolution and drone EHP, but besides that, maybe those +2 stabs, but besides that there is nothing that can enhance the DPS. Nothing really, nothing really screams PvP when you look at a venture, right? Well, I can work with that. I have enough slots, I have enough of everything basically, so let me show you the build. So 198.64 DPS, which is, I admit, a bit low, and I'll show you the reason why that's the case in a moment. I have rapid missiles, which is generally accepted to be the universal battle venture weapon, although I also wanted to, I think I'll also be using medium autocannons, because I have the barraging plant, and I can actually have this thing roll 2000 DPS, so yeah, adventure with 2000 DPS, hell yes, that's one of my next goals. A point, a scrambler, 2 Valkyrie drones, light drones, a afterburner, damage control, and a adaptive hardener. Honestly, that's what I like about this ship. Now, the rigs, this is something that I'll be changing. I have tank rigs, obviously, but I want DPS rigs. Now I will probably go with missile rigs, but if I manage to slap autocannons, then I think I'll just go with the with cannon rigs, I guess, for the burst adapters. And my goal would be to increase the DPS so that this thing is more potent. To have a bit more DPS. And with the barraging plant, again, 2000 DPS. I have tested the theory out. It should have 2000 DPS, and that would be kind of crazy. Now here you can take a look at the tank, 5.7 hit point. Oh, not bad. I mean, the stats, it is kind of meant to fight other miners. It is not exactly a DPS focused battle venture, and honestly I want to change that. I want this to be a little DPS venture that also does have a damage control in a way for panic. I guess as a panic button, does give some decent stats for a short amount of time. 20,000, almost 21,000 hit points, which is not bad. Honestly, I would say fairly decent for a ship like this. Now, my skills for industrial ships are, let's say, lacking a bit, and I'm actually working to improve that. And you will notice my lack of industrial ship skills when I try to play some other modules. Now, of course, if I go with a DPS build, I'll have some damage mods and a damage control. Both, I guess, can be fitted on this ship. Has 3 low slots, so afterburner, a damage mod. In this case, would be a ballistic control, but obviously I have no power grid for it because I have no skills for it, and that leads to problems with the power grid. But nothing I can solve. Nothing I can solve. I mean, just increase the skills and it will be placed. Now, drones. I don't really think that the drone DPS is the way to go with the venture. I mean, at the moment I will be probably doing a lot more damage with the missiles or cannons than with drones. So yeah, I will probably not recommend that you use a drone damage and fire, since on this ship you will probably get more DPS out of the high slots than the drones, which is kind of weird, but it's just the way it is. Oversized weapons, I guess. And ideally, as I mentioned before, I want to slap autocannons. Now, not really sure which ones I'll slap in. We'll have to completely rework the ship. Has to have some power rigs as well. So yeah, we'll have to work on that. And it's again, once I have the skills ready, it will be much easier. But I really want to put some autocannons on the Venture because I believe a autocannon Venture with the barrage is something that can be quite nasty. And it has some good tracking as well. Imagine if you could slap a large missile launcher on this thing and if it would work. Now that would be pretty funny. Of course, obviously you can't do that because literally a large module, larger, the whole missile is larger than the ship itself, so you can't really fit that. And the rapid missiles have the lowest power requirement, so obviously they're going to be the easiest to fit. So I have a lot of things to play around with when it comes to the Venture, and I am definitely going to have a lot of fun flying this. But enough of me just talking. Let's just go and blow up some ships with it. Let's see how does this thing feel. How does this thing feel in combat? And I said this before. This current Venture is kind of designed to hunt other mining ships. Basically, me testing the waters to see how this thing works. Eventually, I want to do a lot more, let's say, dumb things with it. I mean, it's a cheap ship. I can just eat it, and it can just die, and it's a cheap ship, cheap to replace. For laughs and giggles, I think it's completely worth it. Now, let's see if my camouflage is going to be.
Warp drive
Let's see if
active.
my camouflage is working. Now, I'm saying camouflage. I'm not talking about cloak. When you warp to a belt and when there is another miner in the belt, they don't really think that you have weapons on your ship. Maybe maybe they do. I don't know, but there is a Venture, and okay, they're aligning. All right, they are aligning. Now I'm not going to lock yet. They haven't been warped out. They haven't warped out. They're still here, and they're still mining. And technically, I mean, this is combat mining. What I'm doing right now. What is combat mining? Well, it is when you use a mining ship to kill other miners to steal their minerals and the other loot. It is mining for mining ships or mining palaces that can't bother with mining, right? So yeah, I have engaged the Venture, scrambled and pointed. Most don't expect to see this. Most really don't expect to see this. They don't expect to see a battle Venture, and there we go. Destroyed. Well, let's warp out and let's take a look at the kill. Now, why do I have a tanky build? Well, if it happens that I fight a covetor, let's say, I need to kill the drones, and I need to live long enough to kill the drones. So, yeah, it is basically the reason why this thing has tank rigs. But I mean, I can just buy a second one and buy the second one to be for DPS. I always forget how cheap this thing is. It is one of the more cheaper ships that you can buy, 22 million. And yeah, when I say cheap, my ship is still cheaper than the kill here. My ship is like 3-4 million each worth or something, very very cheap. And that was a fairly good kill for this ship's ISK value. Okay, let me dock real quick, and well, we can go to the next target.
Drive active.
And one thing, I can just really dock with timer with this thing without worrying. I mean, if I get killed by gate guns, it's a 5 million ISK loss, not going to break the bank. I'll even laugh at loss, so it's honestly not that
accepted.
much of a loss anyway. Like not like losing nothing basically. It's that cheap. So let's go to the next target. Now, what do we have here? I mean, I really want to. I want to do same thing with the retriever with other mining ships. It's hilarious. So we have two targets. We have a Venture, okay, and we have a retriever. Oh, we're gonna go to the retriever now. Now, of course, I am in a mining ship, so you do have that element of surprise. I mean, if you see my name in a Venture, expect missiles on it, okay? If you see my name and if you see me in a mining ship, yeah, that thing is probably armed to the teeth with weapons. You will not see me mining at all. If you do, the end of the world is near. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, okay, this retriever is orbiting. They are not aligned. They don't seem bothered by a Venture. That's going to be a very big mistake that they did not warp out when they saw this ship warping in. That's going to be a very, very big mistake that they did not warp out when they seen this thing on the grid. And they're obviously not AFK. They're orbiting. They're moving there. So okay, now I will estimate. Now they're moving. I probably don't have any good warping. I'm probably already too late. But you know, I'll just try to go back and pretend
Warp
I'm trying
drive
to
active.
mine some asteroids, I guess. And combat mining can be quite hilarious. I mean, I like the concept of it. If you can do that and basically somehow find good loot or goodies from mining ships that you kill, it's profitable in a way. Maybe I don't. I'm just giving out some ideas here. Yeah, this ship is moving. Well, I'll just try to approach. Let's see if now they're not aligning. Obviously, they are still. Yeah, they're not aligning. They are just chilling. I am in a venture just trying to mine some belts and mine some salt along with the belts. Well, in this case, salt, I guess. But mining salt, yeah, you can do that very easily with the Venture 3. And they're still not aligning. I mean, if I saw a Venture 3 rushing towards me, I would nope out of that in a heartbeat. I mean, I wouldn't even be in this position. If I saw something warp in and warp out, I'm gone. That's it. if I'm mining and if I see something warping, I'm out. That's you know. But this retriever thought that I was harmless. Well, surprise, surprise. I'm not harmless. I have teeth. Scrambled point. Now I have a long point in case they try to run. Basically, I have a long point in case they try to run and they scramble when I get close. Yeah, that's basically my current. That's the idea behind my current layout here. And the retriever definitely a bit more tanky. I bumped it because why not? But orbiting at 0. Because the retriever can have drones, and if they do pop drones, I have to be ready to shoot the drones. But most panic when this happens. So you know, it's like shooting a fish in a barrel. Even I can do this with a Rifter tier 1 or tier 2, whatever the tier was. It would be the same result. Most panic, which is a very big mistake. If you get tackled, don't panic, because if you panic, you already lost before the ship even took any damage. That was a beautiful explosion, and I got some loot. Well, you know what's funny? I avoid looting the minerals because I haven't been used to looting minerals. But you can loot minerals with this. You have a ore hold on the Venture, so you can actually go from belt to belt and kill miners and basically take their ore, their loot, and that's combat mining in a nutshell. I like the concept of it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because it is stealthy without having a cloak required. And now let's go pay a visit to the Venture. Now, if this Venture doesn't warp out, if I warp in, then I have some questions because I should be red. And if you see someone red in a mining ship warp towards you, warp, just run. Don't spend a single second looking at it. And this Venture is also orbiting. Well, they are orbiting. They are not moving. They're not aligned. And I'm approaching slowly. Well, time to engage, I guess. Pointed, missiles out, drones are out, orbiting at 0. And scrambled, orbiting at 0. And another Venture destroyed. Well, that wasn't that lovely. Let's take a look at the wreck. And yeah, I'll take the mining lasers. I mean, not much I can do with it, but if it piles up, I can just reprocess it and get some materials out of it, and basically use the materials for some other things that I'm doing.
Warp drive active.
Well, 2 kills, I guess. Nice. I mean, any kill is a good kill. At this moment, I'm just having fun with the game. I'm just doing something quite funny, and Not something I've been doing, I think, ever. I think this is like my first ever venture roam, technically. 26 million, nice. I'll take it. Any loot is good loot, I'll take it. And the retriever, 150 million. Well, I mean, that one was definitely a good catch. Compared to the ISK value of my own ship, that's a good catch. No complaints from me. And let's dock with timer. Because, why not? I mean, I can safely do that in any system.
Warp drive
Not
active.
not a big deal, I'll just go and dock and wait out the timer inside. No need to risk anything. After all, I already have like... It's funny because while I'm recording this, I also have a couple of games in the background that I also record, so I have been recording 3 games at the same time, and this thing still... This
Docking
device,
request
this phone is
accepted.
just a monster. It rolls without a problem. Yeah, that's just amazing. Let's go to the next targets. Let's go in the venture. I'll be doing even more. I mean, I do want to eat this at everything I can, and I'll do that. So this is just a warm up, basically. Warming up, trying to see how the ship
Undocking.
feels, how the ship works, and I can guarantee you, I'll be dropping this on everything I see. It's going to be hilarious. Well, I say guarantee. I mean, I did some really dumb things in the past. I eat like a stabber at a balgon or something. Yeah, I think I did eat a stabber at a balgon and I killed it. I killed it. That was one of my most hilarious kills to date. Good old days. So I do want to do something similar with a venture. I think that's potentially going to be very funny as well. Now let's
Warp drive
go
active.
to the next target. We have a venture. Well, venture versus venture, I guess that is kind of fair. Maybe I need to get a venture 1 and just eat that thing. That would be... I think that's even more funny if I take a cheaper venture and do the same thing with it. Well then, let's see what this... Okay, they're chilling. They are chilling. Yeah, they're mining. They're stationed. They're not moving. Okay. They're mining the lasers. I'm about to mine their ship. I'm about to mine their ship. And trust me, mining salt is 100% profitable. Pointed. Still not moving. Well, okay. I am moving. Scrambled. And let's see, there we go. Venture Detroit. Let's take a look at wreck. Oh, loot. I mean, I can technically take some... I could technically have a use for those... For the loot, but I mostly just try to process everything I find, because in most cases I don't really have a use for it, besides, you know, being used as
Warp
material.
drive
But
active.
you never know. Maybe someday it could potentially be quite valuable. You never know what can happen. You never know what can happen with the loot. And now let me approach the station. My cooperative afterburn. Let's take a look at the 23 million. I'll take it. This one had a stab. Okay, that's interesting. Well, that stab didn't work. That stab obviously did not work. And let's dock. I tell you, one day I'll
Warp drive
accidentally
active.
click warp instead of dock and I'll get killed. Although technically if you do that, you can go quickly in the autopilot and try to set the autopilot to the station. It should go in. So you have a failsafe if you do happen to mess that up. I haven't messed
Docking
up yet,
request
but
accepted.
never say never. Anything is possible, basically. Okay, let's go to the next target. Well, taking the venture again. I usually scout with the Astro, and players wonder, how do I scout without a scanner? Well, how do I find ships without a scanner? Well, it's impossible to find a ship without a scanner. Basically, I scan the target, scout with the Astro, I dock the Astro, I take a combat ship, and I warp. That's how I do it. And it works. It works really well. I have no complaints about... I mean, I could
Undocking.
probably do it much easier with an alt. And I actually did plan to use my alt, but unfortunately can't do that anymore. That is, well, I can, but I don't have to use an alt. I do fairly well with only one account. And I rely on my brain in a way, so I mean I project
Warp drive
the
active.
trajectory of the target, and usually it's very accurate when I project that. I have no problems with basically imagining or projecting where and when they'll be and what they'll be doing. Very rarely I make a mistake, but very accurate when it comes to when I when I scout. I predict everything that the target will do in such a way that it makes it kind of scary when you think about it. And let's blow up this Venture 3 as well. There we go. Well then, I kind of like how this thing works. This little ship is interesting. A mining ship that is being used for combat, and
Warp drive active.
I will do a lot more. I mean, I'm not very sure if I should get a Covetor 2 or an Orca. I mean, Orca has more DPS. I want to do silly stuff, silly things with mining ships, with industrial ships in general. So I think I'll start with the Venture, but eventually I'll progress to the Orca because why not? I think that's going to be quite hilarious to look at, and honestly, I kind of want to have some fun and have some laughs while enjoying the game. So yeah,
Warp drive active.
I got ideas, and I will be trying to make those ideas a reality. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this ship. The Venture is a scary little boat for sure, and
Docking
I
request accepted.
honestly like how it works. So with that being said, hope you guys had a good laugh. Hope this was fun. I mean, I wanted to do something quite silly today, and this is basically the product of what I imagined. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.